Hi, I'm Monsignor Jamie, and welcome to a new episode of Breaking Bread, where family, faith, and food come together. Today we have a special guest lined up, someone that you may know. He's no stranger to Ned. He's an actor. He's been on many specials, and I think you will know who he is, so don't go away. Hi, I'm Monsignor Jamie, and welcome to a new episode of Breaking Bread, where faith, food, and family come together. Our special guest today is none other than Net's own Anthony Mangano. He's the host of City of Churches. He's been on many Christmas specials, and I hear new one's coming up this year.
Yes, I'm kind of working on it. Ironically, believe it or not, last night I started writing it.
Really?
Yeah, I'm tweaking it right now.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's good to see you.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, it's kind of a little different, huh?
Yeah, it's usually you're interviewing me.
Yeah, I'm there with my clipboard asking you at all the different parishes.
Well, I mean, not all, and some.
No,
only about three.
But you've done great work in each one. I always brag to everybody about it.
We go back a long way. We go back.
Sure, since Mary Queen of Heaven.
Yes, over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I used to see you in the afternoon coming in to say a prayer. I think your niece was sick.
Liliana. She was very
She's
sick.
doing well now.
She's
Thank
cystic
God.
fibrosis. And
Right.
Thank God. Every day's a battle, but she's doing well, thank
And the
God.
power of prayer.
Yes, remember, I always talk to you, Father Elias.
We were all praying for her at the time. And
thank you.
That's when we got to know each other.
Yes.
You told me you became an actor and all
Yeah,
these
I've been doing it since I was a
movies
little
you've been
kid,
in. How'd you get into acting?
My dad was a nightclub singer, so I've been around it practically my whole life, and between singing and acting, and that's why I got a kick out of doing the Christmas specials, because it was a throwback to the old Dean Martin show and stuff. And you know Joe with his Jerry Lewis and stuff.
Now, you were on this show many years ago. I think it was our second season. We did a Christmas special.
Yes,
And you came on with Danny Rodriguez.
Yes, and we also did one of Michael's, too.
Michael's Restaurant, another Christmas special.
And what's his name, the lawyer, Frank Carone's house.
At his house,
I
his
remember
kitchen.
eating a fish dinner at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
But it was great. And
It was our Christmas special with the 7 fish.
Oh, yeah, I loved it.
So tell me, I know now you're working for Ned. I mean, you got introduced, I think, on Breaking Bread, and then you got to host City of Churches, and you've been doing these Christmas specials, but you've done television, too.
I mean, I did a lot of different TV series, but I'll just tell you real quickly, coming out, I have a mini-series for Showtime called Escape at Den Moria.
Okay.
Ben Stiller directed. A film Brawler, where I'm playing Sylvester Stallone in, which is kind of cool.
Okay.
And I have a movie called Green Book, which is coming out. It stars Viggo Mortensen, Marsalis Ali. It looks like it's going to be an Academy Award film. Not that I'm in it.
So maybe I'll see you around the neighborhood, because, they're doing a lot of filming in this Williamsburg neighborhood, Greenpoint. They have sound stages. They're always filming in the streets. In fact, they filmed The Irishman. Al Pacino was here. I got to meet him.
So that was
exciting.
Nice. Yeah.
Really,
what a great actor, classic guy. I have to tell you, the most enjoyable thing is when I started doing City of Churches, and we went from church to church, and we've done now 3 churches with you.
Right.
Hopefully we're going to do a 4th.
You missed the first one, the St. Patrick's in Bay Ridge.
Sorry. Well, maybe we can go back to that one. But I'm really excited up because I think we're going into our 5th season with me as the host.
Right.
And I've had a lot of fun. And now we're going to probably try to take it on the road a little bit and explore other churches and other cities and stuff. And we're going to go to, our first one I think would be in Florida. It's the oldest church, or the first church in there, St. Augustine's.
I think it's like over 500 years old.
See, that's a great story, and people will tune in for that. And there's other churches that I've gone to, other cities and stuff, that are absolutely fascinating. And hopefully, God willing, Rome. If we get to Rome, that's going to be a great one.
If you get to St. Peter's Basilica, I think you're going to need more than one episode.
Yes, I think so.
But if you need a priest, let me know.
There.
Have some free time.
I would take you there in 2 seconds.
But I think you'll find a priest in Rome, especially in the Vatican.
Yeah, I would think so.
You know what the old saying is, how many priests work in the Vatican?
How many?
None.
None? Well, maybe if we get to the Vatican, maybe with a little luck, you never know, the Pope might show up. As I heard he's a nice guy, he might walk out.
He pops up in various different places.
It would be fun. I think he'd get a kick out of it. He seems like a really good guy.
Tell me, how do you, I know you do a lot of television and movies, and now you're working for the Net over a little over 5 years. How do you enjoy working with faith-based, shows like City of Churches, and talking about your faith and interviewing people of deep faith?
I find it's totally different than making a movie, so to speak, and being a host, because I never hosted anything in my life, so then it took a little time to adapt to it. But I find it great because I learned so much from each individual. You got a lot of people, and when I hear stories like, about where they grew up and how they grew up in this neighborhood, how it changed, how it stayed the same. Life's hard, let's be honest. So if somebody still keeps their faith and they still keep going to church regularly, I admire that. It's been very, very enlightening, and I look forward to going to each different neighborhood and to learn about the church. Because you find out, like we just did one like a week ago, it used to be 3 churches, now it's down to 1. And you find it fascinating.
3 parishes into one. What we're doing now, I mean, the bishop really doesn't like to close churches. So if he kind of combines the parishes, they keep the worship sites open. So the church is open on Sunday, so you have 1 pastor for 3 parishes, but really it's just the church that's open on Sunday. All of the administration and the ministries all come out of 1 central, parish.
Because my old church in South Brooklyn was St. John's and St. Rocco's. Combined that. I saw that too back then when we did that episode. It's a good thing because I go in there and I see what you're doing in restoring these churches. There's so much beauty. By today's standards, you could never duplicate.
No, never.
You can't.
And the thing is, you can't let them rot and fall down either.
No.
I mean, that's why Annunciation, is either lock the door, let it fall down, or, restore it. And it's in such a prime spot that, people walking, down the block, at least it's a presence of God, because God is lacking in a lot of their lives.
Sure.
And if they see the presence every day, maybe if we do things to draw them in, it'll serve a purpose. And that's what we're trying to do, as you brought out on City of Churches for us. And I thank you, but all those messages are good things to do, and I think the Net does a fine job in doing that.
Well, yeah, you got a good team. You got Craig, you got Louis, Laurie, you got the whole crew, Mark, Lorenzo. I like to mention their names because I want them to know on camera and the people, it's not just me. I got the easy part. I just go out and have fun. They do the research and put it together.
So just as you said, I think what's lacking is people don't come together to share a meal. And speaking of a meal, I'm going to prepare a little dish here, an Italian dish. I know you're Italian.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
It's one of my favorite foods.
Okay.
But I'm going to make a seafood lasagna today.
Now that's interesting. I never had that.
And I hope you like it.
Oh, probably I know how good of a cook you are.
Make sure you don't go away. I'm going to prepare the seafood lasagna. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Breaking Bread, and we have one of Net's stars, Anthony Mangano, and I'm preparing a little seafood lasagna.
Now this is interesting. I've never had seafood lasagna. I'm on traditional Italian. It's always been cheese or meat, but this I'm fascinated to watch you do because I know how good of a cook you are.
Well, this is seafood lasagna with vodka sauce.
Oh, wow.
So what we do here first, I have sautéed some mushrooms, some garlic, some olive oil, and now I'm going to throw in some shrimp, scallops, and some crab meat.
Oh, wow.
It's a very easy dish to make. The most important thing is to have everything prepared ahead of time, clean your fish, have everything in place.
Well, sure, yeah, it's all cleaned.
This will, as you know, fish cooks very fast. So we just want to cook that up. I prepared some vodka sauce here. It's tomato sauce with some vodka in there, and I sauteed some onions, and then after it's kind of simmers for a few minutes, you throw in some heavy cream. And that's how you make a vodka sauce. I line the pan with the vodka sauce. We have some salt and pepper. I'm going to mix it. Usually you use ricotta. I'm going to use cream cheese.
Cream cheese?
Yeah, it comes very creamy. Obviously, crab meat, we're just going to mix in. We're not going to cook the crab meat.
I like your hot plate.
You
We were
like my
talking
hot
about
plate?
that. Yeah, I kind of like. It's really a really high-tech plate. 'Cause usually there's these little things. That's really nice.
Well, it's a nice size, and it's nice to use, especially when we're filming the show.
Yeah, it
Because we
keeps
have to have
everything
our
within
back
the
and
area.
Turn our
Yeah.
backs to the kitchen.
Sure.
So,
That smells
as
awesome.
this is cooking, tell me some of the dishes like you like to cook. Or
I
just like
do.
to eat?
No. I dabble in it. I'm not like you. But when I cook now, it's like, if I go to my mother-in-law's, I have to cook for 14 people.
Wow.
So everything, and I don't measure it. They go, how do you do it? It's by eye. So, you know, like I'll make a thing called, I learned, I think it was spaghetti alla cieca. You brown some garlic in oil.
Right.
You throw in fresh basil.
Right.
You make your macaroni in another pot. And you dice the tomatoes up. And you throw them in, but you don't cook them too much so they still got a little texture to them, you know? And sometimes I use cooked chicken as well, and throw that in. And they all seem to like it. And I remember there was a girl that was pregnant, didn't eat anything. She ate 4 bowls.
Wow.
So it made me feel good. So I didn't do that. I make meatloaf. I could do certain things. And then sometimes I cheat a little bit if I can't make sauce. You know, my father-in-law does
Now
it.
you said 14 people. Who would the 14 people be?
Well, it would be my wife, my daughter, my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, and all the kids and everybody in the house.
Okay.
So that's why I say it's
So
hard
the family still comes together?
Yeah, they do. You know, especially
Sundays or?
at my mother-in-law's, yes.
Every Sunday?
Pretty
You
much
keep
if
that
they can, they
tradition
try to
alive.
keep it together. He's good. He likes to make raviolis, Tom. You know, he'll go to Pastos's and pick up raviolis
sure.
and stuff, and
They
he
have
makes
great-
his own
great
sauce.
raviolis
Oh yeah,
over
sure.
there.
I try to have dinner as much as I can with my wife and daughter at home every night. I mean, she's a teacher. My daughter works in the city, so when we get together, I'm not saying I cook every night, but even if I get a meal and bring it home, we try to sit together to eat, as long as we're all home together. And I think, like you were saying, that's what's lacking, because you know those
We say
moments.
it all the time. I mean, I don't know if we could say it enough. It's something that...
Well, now you got to see that when everybody gets together, I kind of like this thing, like they have a basket. All devices are in the basket, your cell phones and all that stuff, because everybody, if you look...
I hear a lot of the parents talking about
Because
that. When
it's
they
the
go to dinner, they have to put their iPhones, their iPads.
Yeah, because it's taken away from everything. And
Right.
you know, it can't be that important. You know, if it's an emergency, it'll call again or something like that. But I think that you don't need to be checking your email or your text messages while you're having dinner. That's what's lacking.
Yep. Yep.
And even shutting the TV off, because I know that could become, you know, in itself a little distracting.
So we're going to take this off.
Uh-huh.
And now I'm going to throw in the crab meat.
Okay. Oh, so you don't heat the crab meat up on the
No.
skillet. You throw it right in. I
It's,
guess it heats itself then.
Yeah, it's lump crab meat.
Okay.
A little pepper,
Uh-huh.
a little salt. I'm going to throw in the cream cheese.
Wow.
Some parsley. A little heavy cream.
Wow. I'm telling you, this is
And
this
some
is definitely different from what I'm used to
Parmesan
seeing.
cheese.
Wow.
Okay, we'll mix this
And
all
mix
together.
this all together, huh? Smells great.
Smells good, right?
Yeah, it really does.
And once you put garlic and mushrooms and seafood all together.
Now I'm gonna guess you do this like the old way along. You put
Yeah.
a layer and then another layer.
So what you do is you just put it.
Oh wow.
No, we're gonna roll them. So we can put a little bit down
you're
the
gonna
center.
roll them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So rolling it almost.
Now when you roll them,
Okay.
it's gonna come out a little bit, but roll it like that.
Oh wow.
Try to keep
It
that in.
almost has like a manigot
Right.
kind of feel
And
to
you
it.
put these in here like that.
Okay.
So it's really not a complete cylinder. It's more
Uh-huh.
like a sandwich type of thing. You know, it's not like a manigot where it's, you know, heavy ricotta cream.
I
what
meant the
makes
look
this
of
of
it,
them-
the texture. You know.
Yeah, is the mushroom and the garlic and all the flavors. And when you put them in, you make sure that the seam is on the bottom
Okay.
so that they seal up. So I'll just fill these up. Hold them like that. I said put the seam in the bottom. We'll probably fit about 6 in there. And we'll pop this in the oven for about, I would say, 20 minutes to a half an hour. About 325, not too high.
Okay, 325, yeah.
Right.
It's always within that area, between 325 and 350. I seem to think that when I see people cooking. 'Cause I always ask my wife, what do I put on? Put on 350.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
like,
it all
right."
depends, you know. I mean, certain meats and all you would want higher. Sometimes you want to sear it first. You put it up like to 400, 450. And then once the outside sears in all the juices, and then you bring down the temperature.
Monsignor, I'm just curious, can you substitute, instead of fish, let's say somebody can't eat fish, so can you substitute something else into what you're making right now?
Sure, you could put vegetables inside.
Oh, that's interesting.
With vodka sauce, you could put meat, you can use ricotta, you can use really whatever you like just to stuff them.
Now, is that like homemade lasagna? Or?
No, this is store-bought. This isn't fresh lasagna, but of course you can use fresh pasta if you wanted.
Okay. And how long, like a lot of people, both husbands and wives are working or taking care of the kids, and then they come home. Is it time efficient? How long would it take to make something
Well,
like
something like this you can make when you have some free time.
Oh, okay.
You prepare this the night ahead of time.
Oh, there
Put
you
this
go.
in the refrigerator the night before, and then you come home the next day, and you just pop it in the oven.
Now, maybe I'm not crazy, but I mean, I always felt that like when food was cooked and you had leftovers that the next day, I always feel like it tastes better the next day.
Especially pasta. For some reason, pasta tastes better the next day.
I eat cold pasta, cold pizza. You know what? You're going to think I'm crazy. When we were talking about raviolis, I've actually eaten the raviolis right out of the box before we even cooked them.
Really?
Yeah.
Raw?
Yeah, raw.
And you
love
can
it.
fry them also.
You can fry. I know, I loved it, but I've eaten them raw.
But I remember as a kid on a Sunday night, we'd have Sunday afternoon dinner, but at night we'd get home, we'd take some of the pasta out, the raviolis or, ziti, just put them in a frying pan with a little butter, and you warm them up.
Oh,
delicious.
wow.
Or cold right out of the refrigerator.
They make fun of me because I eat everything cold.
And lasagna is always good to prepare ahead of time.
You know what I always like?
Because it's when you take it out of the oven, sometimes it's too runny and it falls apart. So if you prepare it ahead of time, you cook it, and then you just, heat it when you need it.
When I've watched the
Stays
traditional lasagna, I'm always like the next day, or I like when they cook it just a little too much sometimes. I get the burnt ends, the crunchy part, which I really like. I guess I'm a big kid at heart.
So we'll put this in the oven, and we'll pop it in there for about 20 minutes to a half an hour, about 325, and then we'll take it out and we'll taste it.
Oh, I can't wait.
Don't go away. When we come back, we'll taste the seafood lasagna, and then Anthony will let us know how he likes it. Welcome back to Breaking Bread, and we're going to try our seafood lasagna.
This is going to
Let's
be
take it right out of the oven here. It's been baking for about 20 to 30 minutes.
Oh, wow, that looks great.
Looks good, right?
Oh, yeah.
I hope it tastes good.
Well, we'll know in a second. Oh, wow.
Excuse me about that.
It's all right.
So let me know.
Okay, all right. Well, here we go. Seafood lasagna, my first time. Oh, wow. That is really good.
The cream cheese gives it a nice,
cheese
creamy,
is so,
little different
this
taste.
Is really, really good. I've never had this before. Never had lasagna, but not like this.
Take human bites.
Yes, I will. I'm a little hungry. So this is working out good. This is really good.
So,
Oh, wow.
I can really cook. I mean, I know.
Yes, you can. Which is going to make me ask you a question here. With all you do, and, I never ask you because, we know Monsignor Jamie as the rebuilder of churches. I'm going to put it that way. And all your benefits that you do so much. What's the real you like? What do you like to do when you're not wearing the collar? And you got to have something to unwind a little bit.
Well, I mean, being a priest, I mean, you're always
On?
I mean, so no matter what you do, and if you go out, socializing, you're always trying to evangelize. You're always trying to be there for people. A lot of times people say to me, "Oh, Monsignor, why do you go to all these events?" I said, "You'll be surprised." So I go to the events because of the fundraising, work that I do for the diocese. And the only way you're going to meet people is you have to go out to events and meet people. But also, when they see you're a priest, people who have been away from the church, they find it a little easier to maybe talk to a priest in a setting outside the church.
Yeah, I believe that. Sure.
It never fails. There's always a person at an event that'll say, "Yo, Monsignor, nice meeting you." When they hear about what I do and they hear that I cook, they see I'm a human being, like I have a life also. And they'll ask, I've been away from the church, or this happened 25 years ago, and I'm angry with God, I'm angry with the church, I don't believe in the hierarchy of the church, and I don't believe this. They're always asking for money. It gives me that opportunity to evangelize, to talk to them, and maybe bring them back into the church on that social level. So, I'm always working, but I enjoy traveling. I enjoy, going to the beach. I enjoy going to the theater. I enjoy going out to eat, in different restaurants and trying different food. And sometimes I'll just, want to just sit on the couch and binge
watch TV?
and watch, 12 episodes of, Lone Survivor or something like that, or Blue Bloods,
That's
and
all
just
right.
chill. Because, my life is, I'm
You're
going,
always- listen,
I'm
I know-
going 7 days a week.
You're the hardest working man.
No, I'm not the hardest working
one of
priest.
them.
I'm one of the hardest.
You're one of the hardest working
we all
men in
work
the
hard.
Vatican.
Every priest works hard in what they do. And, God gives you certain gifts, and, you're able to do, some are able to do more than others. But as long as, you believe in what you're doing, and I enjoy doing what I do. And also, since I have the food background, since I have the cooking background, working in a hotel and working with people, this is easy for me. It's not work. I enjoy this.
It's not like when I do City of Churches. It's not work for me. I have a lot of fun. What I'm watching you do is that here you are, you turn and all of a sudden you say, oh, it's a priest making dinner? You don't expect that. You expect, we're talking old school like when I was a kid. You only saw them in church. So what you're doing is, you're allowed to have, my theory is.
We're human.
Yes,
We're
and Catholics are allowed to have fun
and
too.
I think young people have to see that.
Yes.
We can still enjoy doing the things we like doing.
Yes,
I still go skiing. I do those things that, I did before I became a priest.
You
you can use them in your ministry. As, we just had a guest, on the last episode, and she was a youth minister. She was a great singer, songwriter. She used her talents in her ministry. And, that's the appeal to young people. You can still be who you are and use your talents and skills and live life the same way, but, you're affecting more people's lives.
And I've watched you go from, I didn't go to I don't know St. Pat's, and you went to Mary Queen of Heaven, and you went to St. Bernard's, and now you're here at Our Lady of Mount Carmel and Annunciation. You build up such a good following, like other priests, the neighbors, and then you move. I would imagine is like, when you make a move like that, it's got to be a little painstaking, but I also know it's also exciting in another way because it's a
hard
challenge
because,
to...
the church, when you say rebuilding the church, I look to rebuild the parish, to bring people back and fill the pews. It's nice to have a nice, neat place and freshly painted and restored, but it's more important that the seats are filled.
Yeah.
And you build a community. You build a place where people can come and feel, they can interact with other places. There's a social place also, as well as a religious house for people to come to. It hurts me because when you get to know people, and I'm human too. I build relationships with people. You see them every day, and then you moved out, and you leave them. They're upset. You're upset because you're not with them. But you know that God has a plan for you, and you have to.
Does
do
that
what you
happen
can.
to a lot of priests, so to speak, that they go from
every
a certain amount of time?
Right. We get transferred from place to place because of the need.
Okay.
There's a great need in parishes for priests, and you can only keep a priest in a place for so long. Priest retires, and or passes away, and you need to fill that spot, so you have to move a person around. And then some priests have certain talents. Like here, one of the things that the bishop wanted me to come here was to the feast. The feast is not an easy thing to do. The neighborhood's changing. You have to deal with a lot of personalities. You have to deal with the city, and you need someone that enjoys that and also is able to deal with all of that. So there's a need that they pull you out as well. And, it's difficult. It's also, you go back and say, oh, it's not the same. It makes you feel bad that, you left them. But then it makes you feel, well, at least I made an impact.
Oh no, you've left.
And,
you
feel
left
that
a
you
great
did
impact
something.
on a lot of these places because they still talk about you very highly. And I always say, well, one day, you may get mad at me when I'm about to say this, but one day I see Bishop Jamie.
No.
I have a feeling. I'm not premeditating.
I may have to give up all of this if you
That's
go
all right.
bishop.
Listen. Then I can always say, well, I know the bishop.
That's not going to happen.
No, but you never know. But you do such a great job here, and you reach so many
Thank
people.
you.
I got to tell you, I'm very grateful that you brought me on the show.
Thank you. I hope you like the lasagna. I hope you can, maybe
I think I'm going to finish
take it
it while
home
you're talking
and,
You're
And
wrapping up the show
You
here.
saw me making. Maybe go home and make it for your wife.
I think I'm going to try.
Thanks for
Thank
being
you,
here.
Monsignor, for
I
bringing
see
me
you're
up.
enjoying that lasagna.
I'm enjoying this very much. Believe me, it's fantastic.
So that's it for this episode of Breaking Bread. I hope you enjoyed today's show with today's guest, Anthony Mangano. And I hope you saw how, faith, family, and food come together. We saw how Anthony, an actor who made many movies and television shows and commercials, but also wanted to use his talents to evangelize, to bring about the message of God to people through the net. And even myself, using my talent of cooking as a form of ministry for me. And I think all of us can do that, to realize that the gifts and talents that God has given to us, we can share with one another. And the best way to do that is around the table by breaking bread. See you next time.